Hi. So I had a quick message that I wanted to share with you about something pretty profound, I think, that is going on in my life right now. And that is, so recently the Lord called me to do something that my ego, or what you might see the Bible often call your flesh, that part of me really does not want to do. Like, I just don't. My ego just does not want to do this thing. And yet, it's very interesting because it's almost like that has no effect on me because there's this other side of me, maybe more like the soul or the spirit part, that is just so happy to do this as a servant out of service to the King. Just like I feel like I'm gonna do this thing that the Lord called me to do, and that like the flesh part of me really has no choice, like it has no say, like there's no struggle against it because the will of what the Lord wants me to do is just so strong, and it's just feeling like it's overriding everything. Like I'm not even struggling of, oh, do I want to do this or not? Like I know I'm going to do it. I'm going to pursue it with my whole heart, with everything that I have, and do it with excellence. I just have that drive in me to do that, even though the ego and flesh in me is saying, no, I don't. There's just, it's there, but overshadowing it is just this pleasure in doing this thing that the Lord wants me to do. I probably wouldn't go as far as to say it's exciting, but there's definitely just a pleasure in doing this as a servant of the Lord, just to honor Him and serve Him, knowing that there's a very good thing that's going to come out of me doing this, and just looking forward to the other side. And so I started thinking, how is it that this is happening? That there's something that I don't want to do, and yet I'm really happy about doing it. Like, how did I get here to where my flesh is just in total submission and it's not even like competing at this point? It's not even fighting, like it's not strong enough to even fight against this and overcome. And I was thinking, how did I get here, like, to this wonderful place of submission? And I think there are a few things that have been happening in my life that kind of built that and brought me to this place. I struggled a lot over the last few months with finances and moving and just figuring out what exactly I'm doing in life and how I'm going to make everything work out, because I moved to a new city as the Lord called me to. I left my very well-paying job. I left my family and basically came down here. Thankfully, I had friends in a church family, so it wasn't too bad, but it was different. And then I started school, worship ministry school too, which that in itself, doing that without a job and then with jobs paying far less than what my last job did, was an impossible feat. It took me a while to get a decent paying job, and it took me a while to get to a place where I could afford school, and there were parts in that journey where it was literally impossible. I had no choice but to trust the Lord. And then in addition to that, he would start calling me to do these things like give this amount of money to this thing, or just stop your work for a whole day. Will you just worship me for a whole day instead? things like that, and me just really learning to pour out more of my heart to the Lord and spend more time worshiping Him. And I think that really built just it really developed an intense hunger in me for more of Him and a new love for Him. And then the other really cool thing that happened recently was that He called me to, so I finally got a large sum of money, more than I thought I was going to end up with. And so I thought, oh great, I can use this to pay for school and then I'll be good. And then He told me, I want you to go to this worship gathering in Oklahoma. And so, I was like wondering, like, is this a wise decision? Is this really you, God? I don't want to make a wrong decision, because that could be, if it's a wrong decision, it could just be a huge waste of money. But I really felt Him on it, and so I spent all this money to travel just to one night for a small gathering. It ended up being, I thought it would be a much bigger gathering. It wasn't. It was like, if you were to look at it, it would seem like it was very underwhelming. And on top of that, I got sick during my travels, and so I started thinking, like, this is crazy. Like, I feel like this is just a reckless waste of money. Like, coming all the way here just for one small worship gathering, just for one night, getting sick, then going back the next day. But I did it out of faith with the Lord, because I felt like He wanted me to go and He had something for me there. And He did. He did have stuff for me. And it was just a really good time with the Lord. But I think the bigger thing that came out of that, even though I got some great words there, the bigger thing that came out of that was just feeling closer to Him, feeling a new, deeper love that I'd never felt before. I'd also learned to trust Him more with my finances and my time and my choices than I ever had before, because this was a rough decision. So yeah, I really feel like those circumstances just built in me this incredible trust that the Lord makes everything work out. And to follow up with that trip, He actually made finances work out even better than I could imagine for the rest of the school semester. And so that really built a new level of faith. And so I think the big things that just help me get to this point of, again, being so submitted to Him and having it be my pleasure to do things I don't want to do for Him, is really just out of months of just spending time with Him and just trusting in Him with the impossible, and making extravagant sacrifices like this trip just to be with Him, just to be in His presence, to honor Him and to worship Him. And so that's what I want to encourage you with, is just make sacrifices. And I'm not saying like be irresponsible, but if you feel like the Lord is either calling you to do it, or you're doing it with a pure intention simply to connect more with Him, then do it. Just be reckless and extravagant with everything you do, and it'll be so rewarding, because you are letting Him come in and cause the death of more of your corrupted flesh and filling you with more of Him. And it's such a cool transformation, even just to be in this place of, I hate the idea of doing this thing, but I want to do it so much because I love Him so much, and it's my honor to serve Him, and I trust Him fully with everything He's doing, everything He's calling me to do, because I know if I do it, something greater than I could ever imagine is going to come out on the other side. So that is my encouragement for you today.